Discipline isn't always about these big, perfect actions. Majority of the time, they're simply about the small choices that we make each day, doing the boring things that compound over time that leads us to accomplishing our dreams or goals. So this week I've been embracing discipline a little bit more and a little bit better, while also learning to be more present within my life. Learning that it's not about showing up perfectly, but simply about showing up. Like I talked to you guys about last week, simply asking myself, did I or did I not show up for myself today? Did I or did I not complete some of this action that will lead me to becoming the version of myself that I desire to be? It's like with the gym. Some days it's very easy for me to get up, to be motivated, to be in a good space to go. And then majority of the days, I really don't want to be there. I try to come up with a million other excuses as to why I shouldn't go, but then I show up anyway. Because it's a way for me to not only alchemize or transmute or work through my emotions or my thoughts or feelings or even work through my energy that day, but it's also a way for me to physically show to myself like, hey, this is helping you to become the version of yourself, the version of the woman that you said you would like to be. And that woman, she does not always show up based off her emotions or her mood, but she shows up because it's a part of her plan. She's following her plan, not her mood, right? And so it's a way to build that disciplined muscle within me, not just with the gym, but in all areas of my life. Because if I can show up physically to the gym and work out even when I don't want to, that means I can show up for myself when it's time to handle business or be disciplined in my spiritual practices when I don't want to. Because me and David don't consume pre-workout anymore, instead of pre-workout, we make this blend of cacao, cordyceps, and maca, which is a natural energy supporter. It also helps with focus and stamina without the crash. I didn't film much of the workout this day. I was more so focused on getting in, doing what I needed to do, especially because I didn't want to work out this day. But I did catch a few clips of me being disciplined and showing up. And it really felt good to move my body. Sitting in silence, listening to the water, the birds chirp, and sitting in stillness, that's work in its own way. You see, when you sit in stillness, when you sit in presence, or even engage in Vipassana meditation, which is a form of all of these things, you are sitting with the self. You give yourself time to listen to what's truly going on inside. Or you may give yourself time to truly embrace what the divine has been trying to say to you if you've been asking for guidance. But it's very difficult for us to sit still, for some of us, because we're so used to constantly moving, right? There's always a phone call we need to make, somebody we need to see, an appointment we got to book, work that we have to do. And while all of these things are important in a way, I think one of the most important things in your life is to learn to start to embrace stillness. Sometimes you just need to take a moment to yourself, to just be with the self, to see how you are doing, where you are mentally and spiritually, and what the divine is trying to tell you or say to you. Because a lot of the time, I found that when we ask for guidance from the divine as well, we often miss the signs that we've been given because we're so busy focusing on all of the external things that we feel like is more important, or that we feel like that we need to do, or that we need to take care of, that we forget that, hey, there are days, there are moments where I need to just sit back, not fall asleep, not just relax, but to be in active presence, in awareness. But stillness is a birthright to all beings on this planet and in life. We all have the capacity to embrace stillness and to be in stillness. We just forget along the way because of societal programming and cultural programming and many other things that play a role in us becoming the versions of ourselves that we are now. And being here at the temples, being here in Chiang Mai, being in nature has really helped me lately to learn to start to embrace or to remember the essence of my being. We made it to Doi Suthep before the sun was even up, and honestly, it was kind of eerie at first. The place was very empty, just one worker, one man standing quietly outside the temple, and a few dogs roaming around in the dark. But something about being in the mountains that early was so beautiful, but also a little unsettling. But once the sky started to lighten up, the whole energy shifted. What felt creepy at first really turned peaceful and even sacred. Watching the temple wake up with the sun was something I'll never forget. Thailand so far is teaching me that I have to learn to get comfortable with things not going exactly the way that I planned them to go with the flow of life and to not go against the flow of life, and to be more calmer and patient with myself. It's teaching me a lot about the flaws that I have and how to embrace them and to improve them. So we went to the temple earlier this week, and it wasn't about me asking for more things, but more or less about me remembering that I am already enough and I already have enough. And something that I admire about the Thai people and the Buddhist culture is their commitment, right? Their commitment and their discipline when it comes to their belief system. I admire that in a way. I respect it. And here in Chiang Mai, the temple we went to, what you do basically is you may go to the temple, right? And you pray, you may ask Buddha for something for yourself or for someone else, right? That may be what you're doing. You may pray or set your intentions. And then you offer up jasmine flowers in return for getting what it is that you desire, right? And so if you get it, you bring the jasmine flowers back, however many you said you were going to bring back when you were there. So for example, I think the minimum jasmine flowers that you can offer is 10,000. So you'll say, I'm wishing good health for my mom or whatever. And in return for her recovery, I shall bring back 10,000 flowers. So you bring back 10,000 jasmine flowers. And what I found to be beautiful this week in going to the temple is seeing the amount of people bringing jasmine flowers back because they received what it is that they had asked for. And it really struck something within me because it was a physical representation that the divine is listening. Source, God, Buddha, the All, Atum is listening. We just have to go with open hearts, be like little children and open ourselves up in order to hear the divine, in order to speak to the divine, in order to embrace the divine, and in order to be guided by the divine. So yeah, that's where I'm at this week. learning to embrace presence and discipline, realizing that discipline isn't always about pushing harder or gripping tighter, but actually about letting go and being in stillness a little bit more, being in receivership a little bit more. And like me, if you are in a phase of your life where you are rebuilding or building the version of life that it is that you desire, maybe you're being called this season to embrace balance with presence and discipline a little bit more. Not showing up perfectly, not showing up in these big extravagant ways all the time, but about showing up regardless of your mood, right? Just simply asking yourself again, did I or did I not do this today? Did I or did I not show up in some way that puts me closer to that version of myself that I know I am, that I know I can be?